Hello, everyone. How do you embrace your uniqueness when everyone is pushing you to conform and to do things the same and providing probably more negative comments than positive when you're out there trying to do your own thing? How do you stay true to who you are? Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to I Created a Life I Love. My name is Christine Spindler Denton.
And my name is Jeanette Rodriguez.
Welcome, everyone. We are so glad you are here joining us today. I think this is just such a fun topic. Welcome. And we're going to be looking at being your unique self. So I think this is going to be great. It's hard, something hard to do. We're talking about being brave or finding your bravery all month long. And this is our last episode on that theme. And I think you definitely have to be brave to embrace your true self, your unique, authentic self, and to show it to the world. That's what we're going to be focused on today. But let's start with what's up? What's up, Jeanette?
I was very lucky enough to have my parents come and visit me. So it was amazing because I did miss them. They came and it was during the actual solar eclipse. And yeah. And we went hiking in the solar eclipse. So that was pretty cool. We had our solar eclipse glasses and we did a hike that seemed to be on all trails it says mild but it was pretty difficult for us, and we had our two dogs. So I'm so proud of my dogs. I'm so proud of my dad, and we had an amazing time and very special memory shared.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Did you guys, what did you see with the eclipse? Because I'm in California, so we weren't on the path, right, to see like the full eclipse or part of it. Like I used a little thing and saw the shadow, something we all got from school as teachers. But what did you do? Like, what could you see? I guess is the question.
So it was a partial eclipse. It was about 50%. Yeah, so the sun was very bright that day. But luckily we had nice breeze and wind. So it was actually kind of chilly. And so it was good for a hike though. It was pretty good.
Hey, very cool. Very cool. Well, I am over here still recovering from my surgery. So I am doing okay. There are definitely good moments and not as good moments. The pain factor comes in sometimes and is a lot, still dealing with that. But I am definitely feeling better, having something to look forward to and do this because you start to go stir crazy. I do anyway at home. I've like binged, that when you start, like your brain is just too in pain and there's too much going on that I can't even really read, which is what I love to do. But so I start, just binge watching shows because you can kind of focus in and out and stuff. And then you kind of move into where you can actually, in bed, do some reading, do some writing, all of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff that I love to do. So I've gotten to that point. So that's much better for my brain. My brain is going a mile a minute. I am out here meditating at least twice a day right now, usually when I'm working and everything full time and not recovering, that I don't have time. But right now I've been able to definitely do it 2 times a day. And that's, really helping kind of slow my mind down and focus and remember my gratitude and my purposes in purpose that I want to, give into each day and my intentions for that day. So it's nice. It's getting there. For those of you just joining us, I just had my third cancer surgery. So that's what I'm healing from at this time. But yeah, we're getting there. I'll just say that progress is where we're at.
I'm so glad you're healing That's great because it was a long journey. And, I know it's never going to be done. It's always going to be a part of you. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're taking that time to recover.
Thank you. Yeah, I started this lovely journey in July. So, yeah, I think by the time they get done with everything and all the procedures and treatments and stuff, it'll be almost a full year. It'll be a full
Yeah.
year by the time we get there. So, yeah, there you go. There you have it, peoples. So, we want to give you our quote of the day in looking at embracing your unique self. This is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. I love that quote.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that up in my room with my kiddos. I had that up in my room, to remind them being their unique self. Although we know it's hard. So let's talk about that. Like why should anyone even try and embrace their true self? Like why is it important? Why does it matter when we talk about this? Why can't you just, shut that side down of you and just conform and do it the way everyone else is doing it? We have some interesting scientific evidence and studies that have been done based on people living authentic lives and really being true to who they are. And one of them is in a study that was entitled "Feeling Special and Feeling Happy." They found this was done in 2018 by Selda Kodemer, and she found a personal sense of uniqueness to be positively associated with authentic living, which was then positively related to happiness. So that's a really interesting study from 6 years ago. And I know there's been additional studies too, but this was a pretty extensive study. Just really connecting that feeling special, that feeling unique and different from others out there, how it really connects you and gives you that sense of authenticity, which is
Mhm.
connected with your own happiness and your own joy. And that was pretty amazing to me.
Yeah. It's definitely a good correlation to have. You have to feel comfortable within your own skin, especially to um, experience the full, benefits of happiness. Yeah. And uniqueness.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool that they're, studying and looking into this because I think we know people and we've seen stories about someone trying to pretend to be something they're not and how it almost eats at them inside. And so it's really cool to see some of these studies, studying the other side of it too and really showing that those people that are out there really being true to who they are and they're not in conflict internally, how it absolutely affects their quality of life. Another one was, let's see. Oh, also about the study, they note that their findings are consistent with research asserting that uniqueness is related to authenticity, which requires accepting the opportunities that flow from a unique personality and is in line with having a stable and congruent self esteem. So I love that. And that's from Dr. Patrick, Wendy Patrick, who was looking at this article as well, or this study that was done in 2018. And I just love the fact that this is saying that your authenticity comes from your unique personality. And I just love that because we all have the weird quirks or things we like or the ways we see things that is just a little off or different from everybody else. And I think that we are told so much when we're young that you have to change that and, all of that, and that you have to be the same. And it's really hard, like in middle school and high school. Trust me, we've been in those settings for decades, teaching in them. So we know how hard it is when kids do try and be their true self and try and stand out and get criticized and put down. And so we definitely know how hard this is. But I think that this all still applies to adults. I just see so many adults out there in their job or in their world, like conforming to how they should dress and, what they should wear and all of that kind of stuff that they want to fit in with their peers at work, right? And with their
Mhm.
friend group and even with their family. Like it can be very, very hard if you feel like you're very different from your family. Um, and to be able to stand up and say your true feelings and your true self.
Oh, yeah. And it has a lot to do with judgment from others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why it's hard is judgment. And social media doesn't help with that, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
as soon as people do something unique or create a unique piece of art or, wear something that, definitely represents who they are, that makes them happy, whether it's in style or not, they're going to hear about it on social media, which you guys all know if you've been listening to the show, my thoughts on comments. I'm a big social media fan, but not so for the comments. Um, I think another way too is that why it's so hard to really embrace your true self, right? Your unique self is because you have a fear of looking silly too. And I think that's especially when you're trying something new. And that is especially, I think, even for people my age, right? The Gen Xers, I think as you get older in life, it's harder to try something new without having a fear of being silly and failing at it. I think when you're younger in your 20s, that is one strength I think younger people have is that they'll blindly go and try something because they don't know any better, because they don't know like repercussions and issues and that, and it's forgiven, it's accepted more that they don't have the experience yet, or they're out there just figuring things out. But when you're in your 50s and you're trying something new, I don't think you get that forgiveness. I think people can be very, very harsh and very, very cruel if you look silly trying something and you fail.
I don't want to say or speak for my whole generation, but for myself, I think that the silliness is the best part. That makes
Love that.
people, engage more with you. They know that you're being authentic. They know that you are being vulnerable and really trying things. And even if you do fail, it's, you can make light of it because a lot of people, struggle with, like what you said, trying new things. And that's the best part is, going through that whole motion of, you know, experiencing something new, trying something new. And then, if you fail, okay, try something different. If you succeed, then hey, that's great too. But it's a whole journey that is, something that's very unique for us human beings that we get to experience.
Yeah, and we talked about that in one of our earlier podcasts, really like using failure, right? And how do you fail and then use that? And that failure is one of the steps to success, that you're not going to succeed in most things that you do the first time that you do them. And so you're going to fail, and that's part of it. And you have to know that and embrace that. But I do think it is hard. I do think that when you know that you want to do something, like it's a unique calling to you and you want to try something or do something different, and maybe you've been in a job or you've had a family and you've kept this part of yourself kind of locked off and separate. And now you're like in a new place in your life where you're like, okay, kids are grown, I have time now. I'm ready. I want to try new things for myself. I want to embrace my um, true, authentic self. And I am interested in this, or this. And so you want to start doing that and trying that. I think it can be really hard to not want to feel silly, to not want to look silly in front of other people as you try and find your unique path, right? It'd be great if you could just follow exactly who you are and embrace those unique qualities and skills that you have and those desires that you have to do something new, and not ever have to fail,
Yeah.
not ever have to look silly. But as you said, I think that's really cool that that's part of it is the looking silly, the failing at it. It's all part of embracing who you really are. Well, we are going to talk about now like how we're going to shift to how are you making a breakthrough? Like how are you doing something different in your life, or what changed for you that you were able to be more authentic in your life and be who you truly were meant to be? Because I will say this, so you know, as a why, not only does it affect your overall quality of life and the amount of joy that you have, and it definitely takes away the conflict and inner turmoil you might have in being who you really are. You just feel lighter when you are being real and being who you are. But I will also say that that's your job. Like, that's why you're here. You are here on this planet to share your special skills. And the problem with our society is that we don't celebrate the individual who is doing things different until they become successful. So when you're the middle schooler and you're trying to be different and unique and be true to who you are and follow your own, drummer, right? You get laughed at, you get teased, you get all these things. But it's the same thing for adults. When you break in and try and do something new in an industry, or start a new company and try and change things up, you will get the same negativity because everyone likes to stay in their comfort zone. Everyone likes to keep things as they are. So it's just as hard, if not harder, as an adult to really embrace your unique self. But that is your job, because look what happens when people who came up with crazy ideas end up being successful. Then we embrace them beyond belief. Then we celebrate them. Then we use them as
Yeah.
examples, right? As to why you shouldn't listen to the naysayers.
Yeah, yeah, and you look at, the famous people out there like Steve Jobs, you got Elon Musk, you got all these different people who are doing such, innovative things that if they listened to the people that judged them, they wouldn't be doing those things that, are making a change in all of our lives. So, it's very important to just continue to be yourself and focus on what you want. Yeah.
You're exactly right. And I believe that you were given these gifts and your person you went into this body with the personality that you have to bring those gifts out. Like, it's a joint venture between your spirit and the body that you were put into to work together and to align to bring these gifts to the world. And I think Oprah has a great quote, and I wish I could have found it. I couldn't find it today to add it, but if I do, I'll bring it in next week. But basically, the gist of it is that her belief too is that when your soul or your spirit aligns with your personality and actually uses your personality and the skill set that you have to make your soul's dreams come true, that's when you're in the most alignment and perfect alignment with God, the universe, all of it. And so, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in a higher being, whether you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, it didn't all happen. Sorry, it didn't all happen randomly, right? That your soul went into this body at this time on this planet with the exact personality and skills that you have. Like, it is all meant to come together and to work for the greater good. So think of it that way. Like, that was kind of, for me, my breakthrough of when I really started not not putting myself down about like my different quirky personality things, but started saying, wait a second, this is exactly the personality that I'm supposed to have to make these dreams that I've got going on inside me, that I want to support other people, that I want to create more joy in the world, that I want to help others create more joy in their life. My quirky, weird personality is exactly what's supposed to be to help make this dream come true for my soul. And when I really kind of got that, and I saw Oprah talking about that, and I got that, and I read another book as well that about bringing your unique talents, right, to the table. um, that to me was a big breakthrough for me, that it stops those negative thoughts, like, right, because every time you start having a negative thought too about yourself, and oh god, I did that again, or oh, I talked too much, or oh, I got too excited, like all the things my brain used to sit there and say to me, I would be like, but that's exactly what I'm supposed to do, but that's exactly who I am, and that's how I'm actually going to what I'm going to use to make this dream come true.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so strong to be able to recognize those talents and to, um, you know, understand that, hey, what my brain is telling me is not always completely right. It's just a little voice in my head that I need to change the way that it processes this information to a more positive outlook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. And we really went over that, if you guys want to listen to, in the leaving judgment behind, like talking about judgment. I think we really went into how to get control of your thoughts, how to get control of your mind and use it to help you, and don't let it run wild. Right?
Yeah.
You've got to guide your mind. You've got to guide the thoughts that are there, and flip them around sometimes when your brain gets going in the wrong direction, because we all have that. There's not one person out there that doesn't have those thoughts that will pop in that are negative or judgmental or questioning, that will, erode your self esteem if you let that voice just keep going. So you've got to make sure you practice those kind of thoughts. But that was a good breakthrough for me when I really started to embrace my personality and who I am in connection with my dreams. And that helped with that voice a lot. It also definitely helped in being diagnosed with cancer. I will have to say, I don't recommend it for all of you. Those of you who've been listening know my sense of humor, so don't come at me. But no, I think when you go through any serious thing in your life, or I shouldn't say serious, maybe should say challenging event in your life, like divorce, like a loss, like a health diagnosis of some sort, a big move, a job change, like any big events that happen in your life. Hopefully you use them, and a lot of times you don't even get a choice, because life just makes sure you get these events to use and pushes you into these situations. And one of the ways that you get through them is to grow from them, is to analyze them, right? And that's a way your mind can help you, and letting your mind kind of break down, okay, well, this is where I'm at, right? So you start with acceptance. This is where I'm at. I've been diagnosed with this. How am I going to get through this journey? How am I going to have this journey? Because I think of it this way. I'm from the entertainment industry. I worked in the entertainment industry first before I ever moved over to education. And I think of my life as a movie whenever I can. So this is how I think of it when I was receiving, or after I received my cancer diagnosis, and was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to learn from this? How am I going to find joy in this? Like, that was a big question. Not just how am I going to get through it, but how am I going to thrive as I go through it? How am I going to have joy on a day to day basis, even though I'm in pain and even though I'm fearful or scared or anxious? How am I going to do that? So I think of the theme that I was going to give to this journey. And then you have to have music, right? It's the soundtrack, right? The soundtrack, like, come on, Gen Xers, we know soundtrack, the music is everything. So you got to decide, like, is my soundtrack going to be like Darth Vader coming into the room? Dun, dun, right? Is it going to be like that? Or is it going to be like something upbeat and like, I've got this and I can do it, and like some great 80s dance music, right? Like, what is going to be my theme going through this to keep my spirit in a space of positivity and joy, and you know what I mean? And like just hope, hope to get through it, I guess I would say. And so that's how my unique personality and my unique outlook, right, on all of that changed my entire cancer journey. And if I was didn't have my sarcastic sense of humor, I think I wouldn't have been able to get through this in the way that I did. So I embraced the unique humor that I have, my unique personality and my upbringing and all of it, and used it to help me get through this journey in a very different way than someone else might do, right? Because everyone goes through this their own way.
Yes. Yeah. And, uh, talking about breakthrough moments, I especially had a period where I felt very, the sense of being judged all the time and worrying about that judgment for myself. And I definitely, it took me a while to, really understand like, it's okay if other people judge you, just move on and live your life and feeling comfortable in your own skin. People will, just like social media, people will say comments to your face, but not really truly understanding your experience and what you are going through. So, I had to do a lot of, work on myself just to be like, okay, that's the way they feel about this particular subject. It's okay. Let them go through it. I'm going to go continue on my own journey and just move on with my own life. And be on with it. But a lot of reflection for me really helped me, really analyze like my different conversations, maybe with particular people, I would say,
Yeah.
and really understand like, okay, maybe they have something going on in their own personal lives. So don't let that affect my journey.
Yeah. Everyone, I
Yeah.
mean, no one knows your journey but you. Stay in your own movie and create your own unique world. And I think some actionable steps that you can take, right? That I found, at least for me. So you guys try them out, see if they work for you. But one is that you start small, right? If you want to try something new, if you want to go down a different path, if there's a style or way or dressing or something like that that you want to be doing that no one's doing and you've been afraid to show it, start small. Start with, little changes and little ways as you slowly evolve, and being true to who you are. Like, you don't have to. If you want to just jump in. Like, I fully respect those people being brave and putting themselves out there 100%. That's great. Do it. And I've got your back. I have nothing but respect for that. But if you're finding it hard, that you really want to try something new or make a change to be more authentic to yourself, to be truer to who you are, and you're scared of what everyone else will say or concerned about it, then start small. Then you can start small. Everything doesn't have to be a gigantic, big moment and big leap. Again, do it the way that feels right to you, because that's then you being authentic about being authentic. So listen to that inner voice. Um, and also, the next way is to celebrate someone else who is being authentic. I think it's really, really cool if you see someone out there doing something unique, doing something different, coming up with an idea that no one's ever had before. Whether you agree with it or not, or whether you think it's amazing or not, the act of them living authentically and embracing who they truly are is what should be supported. And that's what you want support. So give that support to somebody else, right? In some way. And I even say try to do it with someone in your life, like really in your life, not just social media. There are a lot of people that you can find in your life that is doing something cool or is doing something they believe in and maybe struggling. give them some positivity. If it's online as well, that's fine. But I like the doing it in person and finding someone in your life that you know is trying to find their own path and doing things in their own way and celebrating that. And maybe they're struggling and they just need a positive, supportive word. I think that's really, really cool and important.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of groups out there that, a lot of communities out there that have meetups. So like say for instance, you want to do that marathon, you want to take that challenge of doing that marathon, join a running group. I know a couple of people who have. You want to learn a new language, I'm sure there's a meetup group for that. There's a meetup group even for Pokemon Go, so which is an app game that you can play on your phone. So there's lots of different things that you can do to support your dreams and to continue to make yourself unique.
Yeah, and I do think speaking up for yourself is important if you can do that. So I think Jeanette's right. Number three would be like finding your people, right? Finding people who would like or are interested in things that you do. Many times it's hard to do it when you're like right embracing your true self and there's change happening with people close to you, like they might not like the change, they don't like the new you that is happening, and that can be hard for people. And again, it has nothing to do with you, it has to do with their sense of boxes and where they want people to be, and let them have that. It's not your job to change them. Your job is to go out there and, like Jeanette said, find a group or find other people that are doing something that you want to do, that you've never done before and that feels real to you, and living in a way that connects with you. So find your people. I think that's really important. And that's something that amazing about the internet, that you're right. You can always find a group. You can always find the people. Be careful out there, people, but find your
Yeah.
people.
Use
Find
your
your
judgment.
people. Yeah,
Your
you
best
make good
judgment.
choices, people.
Yeah.
But the other way that I was going to say, so starting small, celebrating someone else doing it, finding your people. And then the fourth one that I would really say is you do might have to have a conversation with some people around you. If you are changing and evolving and stepping more into who you are, um, it takes bravery, it takes self confidence. You need to practice those things and you need to find inspiration from people around you. And you might need to talk to some people around you and let them know, hey, it's okay if you disagree with my evolution, with my changing. It's fine if you disagree, but you need to keep those comments to yourself because I'm not taking the negativity. I still want you in my life. And you get to have your opinions for sure, but they don't always have to be shared.
If you want to revisit our episode 6, 7, and 8, those definitely, go deeper into the judgment and the commenting.
Yes. Good idea. Last one, the fifth one is right. Get that inspiration. Get inspiration from people around you, from stories, from books. It is amazing how once you put yourself in the mindset of embracing who you are and your personality, how many stories you're going to find out there about people who have done this and struggled, and everyone told them they were crazy. And I think that there's really, really cool stories out there about people who everyone thought was crazy or weird or whatever words you want to use, derogatory, and they stuck to their guns and they brought their dream to fruition, and now they're celebrated.
Yeah.
So get inspiration. There are so many great books and movies out here in this category. So
Love those action steps. All right. So I know you wanted to talk about somebody who inspires you.
yeah, I mean, one of those people that I was going to say that does that I've found is really fun is Chelsea Handler. And she might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I love her. And again, that's why I say find your own inspiration. But just done her own thing and her own way. And, there were other females comics before her. Of course, I'm not in any way saying she's the first, but I just love the way that she's done it, definitely her way.
Yeah.
And she's not worried or changed from that from the very, very beginning. And she's a really good, like if you listen to her podcast, people think she's all crazy and out there, but she has really good like guidelines for how to be kind to people and why you should be kind to people and why it matters. And so it's she's just a good, I don't know, I just think that the way she's lived her life and the way that she's done it completely and totally authentic to who she is really fun. And she's done it in a fun way, and she's out there having fun every day. So whether you love her, hate her, or whatever your opinion is, she's out there living her life, and it is filled with joy.
Oh
And so
yeah.
that for me is such a cool inspiration that that's where I want to be. Like, that's where I want to get to, that I'm fully just living my life, no matter what anybody else thinks of it, as long as I'm not hurting anybody else and being kind to everyone that I can be. I want to live my life really authentically to who I am.
Yeah, she does a lot of things unapologetically. She is just so, you know, gun ho. And I do recommend, people to watch, if it's still on Netflix, her, different series of Chelsea Handles everything. Or I believe that's the name. It's
Yeah.
really good, and just her openness to others as well. I really enjoyed that TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's tons of people out there. Like, we can name a ton of really amazing people out there, but that's just one that have got me through so far in my journey here of joy, that I've been on, and especially why I've been home and recovering from these surgeries. Watching comedy shows and act and keeping your spirits kind of up has definitely helped me. And her humor is very similar to mine. So, and that sarcasm reigns supreme, I tell you. So, yeah, that was just someone I'm thinking of. But please share with us. Remember, you guys, you can always email us and share with us what's an inspiration to you, or what movie or what story, what female story was an inspiration to you, and why. Because, nothing like sharing inspiration, because it really does help other people get inspired and live, their best and most authentic life as well. Um, you can also share your moment of joy with us. So I created a life I love at gmail.com. Please email us and share your moments, and we'll mention you hopefully on the podcast or on our website. So mine is, as we were just talking about, embracing my sarcasm. So the sense of humor and the sarcastic way of looking at things, it's a very 80s thing for sure. It's a very Gen X thing for sure. But yeah, that's always been my sense of humor, is that those little sarcastic comments just get me every time. So that's been my moment of joy during this week when I've been struggling with the pain a little bit. Having those funny moments have helped me out. How about you? What's been a moment of joy for you this week?
Doing the hike with my dad, and just, making sure that he gets out and that he experiences the world from a different lens, too. And, he helps motivate me to get out as well. So that was pretty nice.
That's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that relationship, when you have a great relationship with a parent, or a family member like that, and just you're there for each other consistently, and you've been there from the very beginning, right? It's just such
Yeah.
a great connection and love, and just such a, place of joy. So very cool. I'm glad. Very
Thank you.
glad. All right, everybody, we are going to wrap it up, but hopefully, we gave you some understanding of why it is so important to embrace the uniqueness, of who you are, and hopefully go out there and support someone else doing that as well. Try and use maybe one or two of the actionable steps that we gave you this week, and know that our Monday meditation minute is out. Remember, every Monday we release a YouTube short, that just is looking at nature and listening to either the ocean or the breeze or something, and giving you a chance to just stop in the middle of the day and take a minute for yourself to get yourself back aligned with your intention, to be true to yourself, to be joyful, to be grateful, whatever you're focusing on that day, whatever your intention is. It's easy to get distracted, and those meditation minutes kind of help you focus back in. Also, you can definitely, don't forget, you can become a member and join our member club. You get a new ebook every month, going over and giving you kind of setting up these actionable steps that you can take. You get digital pages to download, to use, to kind of write out some of these things. It always helps me to kind of put things in writing and to make it very specific to myself each week. And use those digital pages to keep me on track on my journey. So hopefully you guys will like that. And you'll also be receiving our new newsletter, which is coming out and starting too. So we're working on that for you guys. So that'll be a lot of fun with a lot of cool resources. So hope you like that. And then what's up for next week, Jeanette?
We are going to start a new month of gratitude, and we're going to talk about going beyond journaling.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
know journaling's all the rage, but we've got some things to say about it. So come on back, people. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day and go out there and create a life you love.